All right, if you're here, thanks for joining. We'll be starting in just a moment. All right, bit of a kind of exciting one this Monday. It'll be June the 1st. Kicking off with it being a new month, there are a ton of new sort of Steam events for both future upcoming games as well as sales to pick up. Some of the quick ones are the Green Game Showcase. So a lot of games going over um, Earth, the environment. Not always, lots of cozy stuff, but things more like permafrost. This was a great demo. We tried out. Um, Again, lots of new games to go wish list and look forwards to. Presented by Planet Play, which looks to be a Steam key sale site, where they say the proceeds go towards cherries and things that kind of go with the whole environmentalist idea. Then we have the CYL game show, an event dedicated to celebrating the creativity and talent of indie game developers. So again, another good showcase of indie games. If that's kind of what you're looking for, get away from the more AAA, quadruple A titles. Lots of indie games coming out. Brought to you by, I don't know, I don't speak Spanish, so better luck next time. Then another indie game showcase, the Mix Summer Game Showcase. Once again, lots of indie games. It's a good spot for you to learn about and keep track of what's coming out. Day of the Devs, brought to you by I Am 8-Bit and Double Fine Production. Again, more games to show off coming out. We're definitely a little bit of a lull, but some very interesting ones. Dreadmore and Into the Fire, I think would be two fantastic ones. Keep an eye out for. The Southeast Asian Game Show, or I think we all know them as, it means India. Well, what you want, but I think that's what this showcase is about. Deep Dish Dungeon. Got a chance to play that a few months ago in a demo. This was an absolutely incredible little demo. Co-op, platform, puzzle. Super unique, super atmospheric. Has really good localized voice talk, but potentially game of the year for myself. We'll see what the other levels are like, but just haven't played anything like this in a long time. The Frosty game event, celebrating games made in Australia, and that is too many vowels in one word. Somewhere in New Zealand. Again, more of a down under point of view on game development. You think you'd see more things about Sledgeoneers. It sounds Australian. I don't know. Moving on, two more left. The Accessibility Summer Showcase. So things, 20 plus games, guest appearances from disabled gamers and accessibility consultants. So try to make games more playable for more people. I don't know. I assume non-disabled can still play them. Be my guess, but finally the story rich showcase. So showing off as the would imply, story rich games, something with a bit more less focus on gameplay. Boy, this is really showing. That's one kind of game, I guess. All right, on to some real news. A hotel. Yeah, if I can't pronounce it, I haven't heard of it. Thanks, Chill Dad. Chill Dad, by the way, that's who we did our Deep Dish Dungeon demo with. Fantastic demo. Again, go check out his video on that. He did a lot better job than I did, showing off what the game can do. So shout out Chill Dad Reviews. Go check out his. I would hopefully we can get together and play the real game when when the full thing comes out. Definitely on my short wish list. Moving on to some non-gaming specific news. Computex kicked off today over in Taipei. Lots of, as we'd expect, AI was the, just like last year with most of these events, the talk of the town. Lots of things were announced. Some things that gamers can be appreciative for, but again, lots of AI stuff. Starting out first, we had AMD talking up their AM4 sockets, which I believe would be their last generation, which is kind of interesting to see. As we see from this headline from Tom's Hardware, AMD brings back the Ryzen 7 5800X3D, launches the Ryzen 7 7700X3D to combat rising component prices. So just like we saw a few months ago when NVIDIA decided to launch the 3000 series again, start making more of those. We're finding now AMD Ryzen with their CPUs are kind of doing the same thing. Going back a little bit, people are still buying these and using them new. Trying to avoid, some of the price hikes of RAM and the components that are bottlenecked or need to perform at their peak with DDR5 or even DDR4. So if you can go back to 4, you could definitely hit a cheaper, price point with still very solid performance. 5800 or the 7700, those would be fantastic CPUs for, tons of gaming. Are you pushing the absolute newest titles coming out right now at, max settings, 4K, all that nonsense? Probably not. Is it going to run something, many of your run-of-the-mill games? Absolutely. They're also launching their, bringing back older CPU lens as well. The RX 9070. Let's see here. Another comment. The RX Spark was interesting, but I want to see some real world usage and what that price tag is going to be. Yes. So after this little AMD expose of what they're bringing back, that was our next thing. NVIDIA and Microsoft try to reinvent Windows PCs for the age of personal AI. So during NVIDIA's press conference, Jensen Huang, the CEO, would not stop paraphrasing this concept of basically he thinks that the personal computer is dead. We are now going to have personal AI, things like the RTX Spark. That's the future. That's what they're putting all their eggs into. They're hundreds of billions of dollars behind. It's a bit of a weird concept for me to get my head around. As the note summary says, NVIDIA RTX Spark powers the world's first Windows PCs purpose-built for personal agents. Agents, they seem to be trying to rephrase AI as agent. It's interesting that you would pick the bad guys from the Matrix to call your AI, but okay. Featuring 1 petaflop of AI performance, industry-leading power efficiency, full-stack NVIDIA AI and graphics technology, and up to 128 gigs of unified memory. Not sure what unified means. Does that mean the combination between RAM and VRAM? Not sure if the notes further down say, without reading the entire article to you live. So did you ever see a comparison to what they're saying that these the Spark GPUs or CPUs, whatever they call them, are supposed to be comparable against? That's kind of one thing I haven't seen, and price I would assume would be pretty closely paired to that if we're talking, 30, 40, 50 series. It does look like here you'll be able to use the agents locally and play AAA games at 1440p and over 100 frames per second. Okay, well, my card can currently do that, and I think what my card cost, at least before the big price hike, 700 or 800. I didn't see any benchmarks. Yeah, look, it's day one. They just announced it. I doubt we would. We even saw with their CPU that they announced. Was it either earlier today or yesterday? The benchmarks that they did show off were against a bunch of hand-picked no-name CPUs. So I get it. It's day one. They can't spill the beans quite yet, but what's the point then? They give us petaflops of graphical capability, CUDA cores, which those really don't mean much when you're actually trying to come up with how it's going to run game. Chip to chip interconnect to high performance 20 core NVIDIA Grace CPUs. This is way too much in one little time frame to actually try and get I have an idea what's going to do. They do have partners already for this chip coming out. They list a couple of them there, but we can see MSI is already onto one of them. This is almost looks like one of those ultra thin laptops you would get coming from MSI. I don't think we saw a price tag for this either. That's kind of what the article was talking about. After seeing this Steam Deck, jump up $1,000, and it's certainly an exciting prospect. Now we can see just how thin an RTX 5070 level laptop can be. Okay, so they're saying 5070, which certainly isn't top of the line, but certainly is no laptop of yesteryear. They're still gonna be pushing lots of modern and older games, medium, high settings. Still getting very good frame rates with those. What's the battery life going to be? I thought I saw that battery life was supposed to be something really taken into consideration, that you shouldn't be killing these. I haven't been one for laptop gaming since 2010, so that concept doesn't, or that limitation doesn't really apply. 99.9 watt hour battery. Yeah, I don't know. Still too early to call on these. We'll have to see what more comes out. Computex runs for I think a few more days, if not the whole rest of the work week. So hopefully we'll see some more things. They claimed all-day battery, which I find hard to believe for a laptop. I would think that too. Does all day mean all workday, 8 hours, all school day, uh, all day of what they think a healthy gamer should be playing. So 2 to 4 hours in a day, or is it actually all day? That'll be impressive. RTX 50 level GPU, power less. Yeah, I mean, does I wonder, does the Steam Deck advertise hours on theirs? Because we know that's certainly not 5070 level there. More time to play. Steam Deck OLED, 30-50% more battery life, less power, and an updated, more efficient AMD APU. They're not given an exact time frame, unless it's down here. I would click on the LCD, but I don't think that one's not even available anymore. But the OLEDs would just jumped in price, but even it's sold out within 3 hours or something crazy, even after the price hike. Here we go. Power. 3 to 12 hours of gameplay. So even the Steam Deck, which is a much, lowered down. Yeah. So that's saying 1.5 to 3 hours on heavy AAA games. That's the experience I'm used to, is you're going to get, solid gameplay, but for not very long if you're not plugged in. And how much bigger are they saying that this laptop is than, Steam Deck running at those higher level frame rates, more intensive graphics, running something like a Total War game or Dark Tide, a full day. We've seen lots of improvements in the other parts. I don't think batteries have improved that much over the last year for them to actually be calling this out. Especially for a 16-inch UHD plus tandem OLED display. That's not a cheap chintzy panel. That's OLED putting out, some vivid colors. 16-inch, that's huge compared to the Steam Deck. UHD plus, so you're getting, I don't know what percentage of the RGB spectrum that is, but that thing's gonna be warm as heck, taking out lots of battery life. I hope it's true. I hope that this could be something that's the future. I don't know if I want. I don't know if I need this, and I'm still not even paying the money for it if it's not there. We'll certainly be taking a look at Computex as it moves on throughout the week. So let's move on to our next thing. You can kind of see from this review from other media. Actually, one more question. We're hitting the ceiling on CPU, GPU hardware, but efficiency and battery is way behind. I definitely agree. I've got a video I'm kind of working on the background here, kind of going over that. So hopefully, if you're interested, subscribe, and hopefully we'll have this out later this week, talking about the ceiling we seem to have hit. Moore's Law has been dead for quite a while now. I think everyone's recognized that. But Moore's Law, I don't think talked about those couple things. Battery life, battery efficiency. The other things, monitors definitely still seem to be getting incrementally better. We'll see what the new Valve's VR headset, the Steam Frame. We'll see what that can do for gaming. Are there other avenues for gaming to improve other than just CPU, GPU pushing more and more? At you too, Chodette. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for the good comments and questions. But yeah, we'll kind of be exploring what the media to somewhat next half a decade might look like. So keep an eye for that video. here we go. The not the Backrooms, just Backrooms launched as a feature film over the weekend to real, I think, really good reviews. At least had strong numbers. Beat out the joke of a Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Already took their place as the top movie. It's interesting to see another kind of indie horror game. I realized that that Backrooms was what originally a 4chan post that has just been kind of like SCP stuff, been iterated on through the community. Um, Most, I think, importantly, brought to the forefront by some of the backroom games. Um, so I would still kind of consider this kind of an indie horror video game movie adaptation. Only going from text posts to the movie looks like a lot of backroom games that have sprung up over the years, and this I think should be considered a lot like Iron Lung, a sort of indie game movie adaptation success. So definitely think this is the new trend. Hero movies are dead, superhero movies are dead. In come the video game adaptations. Hopefully more of them like these. If you've seen it, did you like it? I don't know. It's definitely not my purview. Or like psychological thriller. I have to pay taxes. That's enough horror for me. That's real life horror. But yeah, definitely let us know what you think. Our next story, coming from Windows Central. Oh, don't click on that. The early signs are encouraging. New data suggests Xbox is winning back gamers and rebuilding momentum. So there was some YouGov data suggesting that the recent things under the new CEO Asa Sharma, the things that she's been doing, from the rebranding to the more practical decrease in the cost of Game Pass. Look, all the graphs go up. Good for them. I don't want to pay more. We'll see. They had that one website where you actually get to give your feedback and vote on it, kind of, Reddit style with upvotes, to see what the community is actually looking for. There was from one of last week's episodes talking about exclusive games, more family content, actually understanding what Xbox fans want to see. So look, it's a good thing. I think anyone's unhappy with this. We can zoom in here. You can see, this is where Hashimoto took off. Value and satisfaction. They're pretty much neck and neck. People are satisfied when they're paying for what they think is going to be a good deal. It's funny. It's on a downturn as they rebrand. It's just, look, I don't know where they're getting their data from. On an 8-week moving average among U.S. gamers. What U.S. gamers? Who are they talking to? Who's taking these polls? So I don't know. What is this actually going to translate to? Xbox doing better, doing well? Like, all that really matters is are the games they're putting out, are they worth buying, are they worth playing? I think what the Xbox showcase is tomorrow or sometime this week. We already know kind of what's coming out. E-Day, or Gears of War E-Day, the Halo 1 Unreal 5 remake. Forza obviously just came out 2 weeks ago, and that has been a smash hit. The Fable, next Fable game got delayed till after GTA, even though that's not what they're going to call it. It did get delayed for that reason. February 2027. So not a huge rest of the year 2026 for Xbox, but certainly enough to keep people interested. And if Game Pass can, keep bringing in solid titles, should still be a good deal, especially if the cost goes down. The Asus ROG Xbox Ally X, a terrible name, just received an upgrade OLED model and a bundle with the with those ROG glasses. I really want to pull this up because again, the Steam Deck OLED just jumped up to $1,000. People still bought it like crazy. Look, if you can't build a whole new computer because of the RAM price hikes, maybe this is the option. We can see here the original Xbox Ally X was $1,000. So adding in the price of just adding in the price of the AR glasses, which themselves are around $1,000, is this a $2,000 bundle? I don't know. I haven't had the chance to use the glasses myself. The couple reviews I've seen, they do seem pretty doggone cool. Again, we're gotta be, sooner or later we're gonna get the announcement of the Valve's the Steam Frame, and does that totally do with AR glasses? We'll just have to see. Kind of rapid fire as we're kind of going a little bit long here. The new Minecraft movie got its title, a Minecraft movie squared. This came out over the weekend during the Minecraft live event. Look, the last one did so doggone good. Yeah, they're gonna make more. What kind of big reveal is Matt Berry from lots of things like toast with French, a toast of French. Or of course, what we did in the shadows. Actor being some kind of undisclosed character. Lots of people are thinking he might be the main villain. Probably gonna be another safe, kid-friendly movie. It will have the same kind of like meme reaction from the public. Again, look, it's hard to strike that kind of lightning twice, but who knows? I'm sure it's still gonna make them a ton of money. A little bit of win over the weekend. The California State Assembly passes AB 1921, the Stop Killing Games, Protect Our Games Act. This is just the very beginning. Just passing the state assembly does not make it law, I don't believe. It's a great, huge step. It didn't pass, unanimously. 43-16. So there's still plenty of people that either do not get it or do not want it. Certainly, we're seeing the gaming industry from the publishing side definitely push back against this. But seeing action this quickly after the stuff we saw over in the EU with Stop Killing Games talking to them, Ross taking the lead, talking to whatever the EU Parliament is. Seeing something move this quickly on the American side, just because there hasn't been that much discussion about it through any sort of U.S. courts or at any state levels, as far as I know. They're just seeing it being introduced and then being voted on this quickly is an interesting sign. Then kind of our last three, here, we got it muted. PlayStation is launching a 27-inch gaming monitor. Look, do people who play on PlayStation use monitors? Are they sitting at desks? Are they planning on people putting this like on a TV stand? I don't know. I thought the whole point of console is so you can sit on your couch and play. Because it's look, that's obviously this is meant for PC gaming. But they just said no more PlayStation games on Steam. So look, that's literally a computer desk. That's a computer. Yep, that's a PS5, but it's keyboard and mouse. I don't know, who are they selling this to after they just said no more PlayStation games on Steam? I think the comments kind of off here. The best, where's the one? You guys talking about we have all these, where'd it go? I can't find it, but basically saying, what do we do with all, oh, here we go. How to get rid of this 2020, sorry, how do we get rid of this 2022 panel inventory? Lapping inside of something that says PlayStation. Yeah, that's probably it. Sony had a bunch of panels left over from something, and they're like, yeah, just call it Sony. It's interesting because not only are they not doing any more games on Steam, not only are they delisting games from PlayStation that are like legit games, but they also eliminated over 1,000 more, as they call them, shovelware games. Now it's their, determination of what is shovelware. As we know, what 20 to 50 games a day are being added on Steam. So let the people decide. Steam certainly has no problem allowing all manner of games getting published on there, and everyone does just a fine job on their own finding games they do and do not want to play. But I guess PlayStation wants a bit more of that walled garden. And then our last article coming from PC Gamer. Patient gamers unite as 25% of you buy your games only during Steam sales. Yeah, I believe about a decade ago, PC Gamer actually had a great article where they looked at every game on Steam, and this was back when there were a fraction of the number of games on Steam now, that after a given year, the average game went on sale 50% 1 year after release. If you could just wait a year, you could buy pretty much every game half off. There's some games that don't go along with this. Certainly your Call of Duties, at least back in the day, or those bigger name titles. What Factorial never goes on sale. It's never gone on sale. The developer doesn't want to do that. It's not an expensive game. I think it's probably $30 brand new. Doing at full price, that's a very good deal. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's just something he doesn't do. But yeah, there's obviously 25% of people only buy games during a sale. Certainly, as what the first part of the show today was going off of all those other shows, there are just as many sales going on every single day and week. New ones coming out. We can see just from there's always a sale going on. Whenever you see that green little, there is just constantly sales, specials. It is just, it's a never-ending deluge, and no one is able to buy enough, especially events. Like, this is a block of 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, the list goes on. Unless you are literally playing every single one of these games in a day and moving on to the next one, buying a game brand new should only happen, a few times a year, once, maybe twice. Otherwise, there's just too many sales. There's too many games, too many good games to keep up with the new ones and actually play them before the next ones come out, and you're missing out on titles. And yeah, just wait a little bit, go back and play them on sale. That's fine. All right, well, that's the last of our show. If you made it this long, thanks for sticking around. That was definitely a bit of a long one. A lot of news going on Monday. Thanks again, Chud Dad Reviews, for stopping by. If you like the show, give us a sub. Otherwise, yeah, we'll be here tomorrow, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, thank you. We'll see you in the next one.